Good morning, it's good to see you back here across on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. Hope you are well. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I thought, do you know what? The day that I'm filming this, I am day off today, so I thought, let's sit down, let's relax, let's do a little bit of crafting and let's film it and then pop it up on the Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. Now we're going to be doing something from our Cheers to You collection because I've still got a number of demos that I had pre-prepped the other month for Future Crafters TV shows, which in the end didn't happen. So seeing as I've still got a lot of these ones left over, I thought let's do one of them. So we'll still do it all in real time, but a couple of the cardstock I've already got cut to size, although I'll go over that, tell you the measurements, put the stamp in, the stamping in the cut, and I was about to say colours, not really colouring. We're going to be using my Ice Grey 2 technique that I love to do. That's what we're going to be doing when it comes to, of course, the demonstration. But we're going to have a little bit of fun. It's going to be really good for Father's Day, which of course Father's Day is the 16th of June, well, pretty much across the globe, set in the UK and US of A. Here in the US, here in the UK, and for you guys stateside, Father's Day is always the same. Mother's Day, of course, is always different. It's always about March time in the UK and May time in the US of A. So, cheers to you. I'll show you what we're going to be making in a moment or two, and then what we can do is then we can dive in. Although what we're going to make, really, we're only going to make using one of the stamping die sets from the collection. Now, of course, you can start to mix and match and start to use other ones if you want to, but we'll go very minimum. We're going to go kind of monochromatic tones when it comes to what we're going to do. Now, before that, since I've last been here, thank you so much to those that have still continuously subscribed to my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. It really is much appreciated, and for those that still hit the bell notification, fabulous. It just means that whenever I upload any video like this tutorial video, then of course you're going to get notified, and then when you do enjoy them, for those that also give me the thumbs up, brilliant, thank you very much. It really is much appreciated as well. Now, since the last time I've been here doing a tutorial, I've done a little bit of change-a-roo, so I managed to get all of that sorted along the back there. So I've got more of my paper pads. See, I did have all my Hunky Dory products. I've still got all my Hunky Dory products. I've just stored it away for the time being. I know you can't see away across there, but I've got my paper pads into my template library, into my layout collection, into the Just to Save. This is just some of my Sticks to products. I've still got lots and lots and lots that I store well, I've not actually got lots and lots, because I actually, Ruth, if you're watching this, I'll be in touch. But I do still have some in Sticks to boxes secure for when you need to fill that up. And then I've got my Trends collection. So these are my QVC TSV from the other month there. So I've got two of them there. I've not filled that one up there. In the corner there, I've got a couple of upcoming launches as well as down here. But yeah, I've got my boxes of paper pads, and I've got Mermaid Dreams, I've got my Spring Fairy, and then Tropical Collection. So that's that there, and then right along the above I've just got more of my paper pads in that. So managed to get all that sorted and organised when I had my week's holiday. So yes, just feels nice and refreshed. I know you can't see the side here as well, but I've kind of got that sorted as well. So we're all good. So shall we begin? Let's do that. Now let's go up ahead and let's show you what we're going to be making here. Now this is what I meant by that monochromatic look. We're going to keep it white and black, a little bit of grey, and then we're going to go in with that woodwork that you can see here. We're going to create an aperture with the die that comes with the beer bottle, and then we're going to use one of the stamps. So that is actually an aperture with this outer layer, which is actually raised up. Stamp around, go around with our Ice Grey work, and it is a 7x7 card. So let's get started. Now for this one, this is what I meant by we're only going to use one set, one stamp set. Happy Beer Day, that's all that we're going to use for this card. You can of course mix and match, as I said before, bringing in other stamp and other dies if you want to. I'm just going to keep it with this one, and other than black, white and grey, added a little bit of the 6x6 paper pad which I've chopped down. Cardstock paper already been chopped down, but I'll give you the measurements, but all the stamping and the colouring with the Ice Grey and the die cutting we're all going to do from scratch. So let's get started. Let's go in with our 7x7 card blank, and as always let's get started with our matting layer. Now my white cardstock, I have already cut this one down to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. My black matte layer, I have cut that to 6 by 6. Take our backing off, so mine, as you guys already know by now, I always like to use sticks to double-sided tape. We do have our own cross on our website, it's a finger lift tape. So it does the same job, but the finger lift tape has a little bit more of an excess back and it makes it easier for some to lift off. I'm not a fan of the finger lift tape, personal preference. I prefer the edge-to-edge tape that sticks to do. So that's the one that I'm using. That's our insert. Of course, once I know who I'm going to be giving it to, I could stamp an insert, I can then print an insert, matte and layer that into there. So you've still got that availability to come along and do your insert afterwards. I just like to put that in. As many as you know means that I'm good to go. Then we're going to go in with our layer that we're going to stamp onto. So if I bring in another piece of our white cardstock, which I have cut to 6 by 6. Now we're going to do a framework with the beer glass. So let's go in with the stamp and let's go in with that beer tanker, and then let's also go in. Let's take what we've done with my stamping platform here. What have I done with my stamping mat? I do not know, so I'm just going to go without. Now, because I'm going to go around with an ice grey to alcohol pen, it means I just need to use my alcohol proof ink pad. So let's layer that into the middle. I'm going to use Noir Black, keeping that with the monochromatic look, and we're just going to start with the corner. So we're going to stamp into the corner there, and then we're just going to keep working our way all the way round. So let's ink up, creating that framework. Always remember as well, stamp off the page. You can see there I've missed a little bit. I'm not overly concerned because the chances are that's going to be covered. So let's work our way round, pressing in, and then reapply, and then we're just going to keep working, creating that framework. Go at different angles to the left, to the right, which starts to create a really nice effect. So twisting, turning, applying, and we're just going to keep going back. I'm going to go into, let's go that direction here, and go in and infill that little corner there. Keep going down, and this is just our white smooth cardstock that I'm using. Press in. To be honest with you, I think this ink pad is starting to run dry, so I need to get another one when I'm next at the office. So ink, we'll go in with the last one here, press that in, and then I've got a little bit in the corner with a little bit of space. So let's ink that here, and then I maybe just got a little bit in there that I might want to just add just a teeny corner, yeah, and maybe just down into here as well. Add a little bit into there and press, and there we go. So let's just clean that off, and then while we're here doing the stamping, let's take one of the center. Let's go I owe you one, or several. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to put, I'm not actually going to use that, I'm going to go into my small acrylic block. So small stamps, I do prefer an acrylic block. And let's just kind of make that as straight as we can. Then what I've got here is I've just got another piece of white cardstock, and I've cut this to 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. So 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. Bring in our ink pad once again. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to randomly stamp. So we're going to go in these different directions like so. And yeah, let's go that way, all different ways, just to infill, creating that bit of a background like so, twisting, turning like that. Let's infill that one there, and then let's infill there. So some will be upside down, some are going to be face on, some are going to be at an angle. It's just about twisting, turning, infilling like so to create our background. And there, and then there. Let's bring that one in there, and then infill there, and then there we go. We've got our backdrop. So let's clean that off and pop that here. And then while we're here, let's take our beer bottle. I'll need to come back with my stamping platform for this one. Let's pop that one on into there. Let's bring in a piece of white cardstock. Now I would do this twice. What I'm doing here with the beer bottle, do this twice. So let's pop it onto a bit of cardstock. Size of the cardstock doesn't matter because we're going to die cut it. So let's press that in. We've got our beer bottle. Clean that off. And then let's pop that on. And then let's take the die. Let me move that out the way. I'm going to take a drink as well. So we only need the die for the beer bottle. Don't need it for anything else. And then let's take my tape here. Let's find the end. I think my water spritz has been leaking on this. Let's take this off. Because you can use our low tack tape. Let's line that up like so. And then I'm just going to use my Gemini Mini for this one, because it fits nicely through it. And then the other thing that we're going to do is using just the die. So we're going to use the die with a bit of black cardstock, which once again you would do twice. So do that another time. Let's bring in my black cardstock and run that one through. Move that out the way. Pop that one out. And then, so you'll have done that twice, and then that twice. And then what we're also then going to do, using the same die, although I need my G2 for that, or not, I could use my MIDI for what I'm away to do. I've got a piece of card, 4x4, so 4 inch by 4 inch, and I've done a pencil line at the halfway point. So I've done at 2 inch, I've done a light pencil line. And the reason being is I want to get that bang on central in the middle. So I'm just eyeballing it so it's the same width and depth, top and bottom. And press that into here. Let's bring in my MIDI. Now I'm using the MIDI I bought from Hobby Maker in the UK. So you can obviously use any of your Gemini machines, just not the small one, the Gemini Mini, because it won't fit. And then that is all the die cutting that we're going to do. So let's carefully prise that out. Now this masking tape, stencil tape that I'm using is sticks to as well. So let's take that. And then, in all fairness, we could have used that for one of the beer bottles, but never mind. So this is what we're wanting. We're wanting this aperture. So let's pop these back here, and then let's take our ice grey pen. So whether it's your Classic, whether it's your Tri-Blend, or your Illustrator pen that has that finer nozzle, or that finer nib to it. Move that out of the way. So I'm just going to use my Illustrator pen that has that finer nib. And let's take our background. So just using the edge with that finer nib, and then all the way round the outside and the inside of the handle. We're going to work our way around. If you've missed any bits, don't worry, just kind of give it that free flow, carry all the way round. So we're just doing outside of the tanker. Is it really a tanker or just a beer glass? And work your way all the way round, and then on the inside of the handle. So everyone, we're going to go around. So we're going to keep going all the way around here. Each of the handles, follow around. So it's Ice Grey 2 that I'm using. You might want to use a little darker one, although it does get a little bit lighter. You might want to use like an ice blue. That can work as well. That can look really nice. But we're just going to follow and work your way. And don't worry about being overly neat. As long as you're kind of up to the edge of that black line. Don't stress too much. And it really doesn't take long whatsoever. So we're just going to keep going all the way round, like so. And fill in. And even then, some of that middle part you're not even going to see. So you could take your pattern pattern paper layer. So if you wanted to cut down on a bit of time, you could have taken your pattern paper layer, overlay it, and see which parts of the glass you don't need to draw around. So let's follow. And there we go. And then into that one, like so. And then that's us drawn around that whole section. Let's bring in our beer bottle, and we're just going to go around between the outer stamped edge and the die cut edge. So we're working our way around on the top, like so. So that's that one. And then what we also need to do is we're going to do it round all of these sentiments. So all the way round, just follow the outer sentiments. Don't be neat or tidy or think too much around it or about it. What we're wanting to do is we want to quite simply just draw around. So as if you're drawing around the stamped impression like I done a moment ago, we're just drawing around the sentiment like so. And it's first you think, oh gosh, it'll take a while, but it's relatively quick to do. I'm just following, and then where you've got little aperture sections in like the O and that, you're just going to infill them as well. So you just work your way around like so. Each one into that. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to bring in the one that I've already done. Let's just finish this top half here. And you're going to carry on all the way down the bottom. So you just see that difference. Prime example of the difference it gives just by going round that outer edge. And oh no, I've not. I thought I already had one done. I've not. I've got one stamped out, just not drawn around. So let's carry on. Each of these. What I would say though is, whereas I said a moment ago, you know, you could use a darker grey or a nice blue, something like that. I would stick to the same one. Now you can do whatever you like. Myself personally, I wouldn't do maybe like this in the ice grey too and then that in the ice blue, or vice versa. Whatever colour you use, I would stick with that same colour throughout the whole project. You want to mix it up? Your prerogative, entirely up to yourself. You can do that. I think it just looks nice when it's the same one. So let's carry all the way round into that last section. So this will also not only be the sentiment, but it's also kind of like that focal point. And what's brilliant is because we've got them in different angles and different positioning, the recipient needs to really kind of look at it just to work out what it's saying. Because although you've got that middle one, I owe you one, or several, that's the full image of the sentiment. All the rest are sections. So it doesn't always catch your eye to start with. And there we go. That's it. As I say, it doesn't really take too long whatsoever. So there is our, which will be kind of like the topper, but the inside topper, so to speak. So let's start to assemble these ones here. So let's bring in our beer bottle, and we're going to do a drop shadow. Now, what I would do is, so one of them, I would do the drop shadow in the way that I always do it, and that's pull down to the bottom right hand corner. The other one that I'll show you, what I would do is I would pull up to the top left hand corner, and I'll show you why. So this one I'm going to do in the way that I usually do it. So let's just get my glue going here. Right, where's my right, where's it gone? My little looking for a pen. I'll need to use is this very, very, very fine fluorescy wire that I use for my flower forming, because I've not used my glue for a couple of days. My baby wipes got a little bit dry, so therefore spritz that with water just to dampen it again. So add in a tacky glue. So say this one I'm going to do like I would normally do, is a drop shadow. Press that in. So that one is done normally, and I've already done one, whereas I've done exactly what I've said before. So I've gone up to the top left hand corner, so you can see the drop shadow around the base there, and then this one I've done normally like I would normally do, so you can see the drop shadow round there. So let's take that one off, move that out of the way. Right, let's bring in our stamped background. I'm going to bring that one in and use my tape to go all the way round. So let's take that off. My water spritz has definitely been leaking. However, I don't need to worry, because although it's just an old cleaning up bottle that I filled with water, made sure it was thoroughly cleaned and then filled with water, we may have something new coming soon. I've already got it, so I know that I'm not going to say it anymore. So because I cut that to 6 by 6 inches, what we are going to do is we're going to bring in a bit of black cardstock that I've already cut to 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. I'm just using my favourite poke tool now from our toolkit. And let's bring that in to here. So I've given myself, it's not actually 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, it's a very fine black matting layer. Very, very fine. Then what we're going to do is I'm taking a piece of the pattern paper that I've already cut, and that one I've cut to 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and also given myself a very, very fine black matting layer. And I found, you would have thought I would have used this side because it ties in with the grey and black, but it just looked a little bit flat. Now, although we're going to raise it all on foam pads, I just mean the look and feel looked flat, so I thought that the brown woodwork looks better. And you've still got the white channels that's running through. So we've got that one, so that we're going to keep flat. And then what we're going to do is our layer that we've cut, I need to take my eraser and just rub out the pencil lines. And then that is going to go over the top, but we need to get the positioning right. So I'm going to use my tacky glue because it gives me that wiggle room. So let's pop that into there and make sure that we can see that whole lot. Yep, we can see that, and I've still got my black matting layer. So that black layer, which is just over 4 inch by 4 inch, I've lifted on foam pads, and I'm also going to lift this one on foam pads as well. So let's take my, I'm actually going to go, bear with me a second. Here we go. Just going to go in, I've been using up my larger foam pad, so I just needed to get some more here. So I'm going to lift these up. So we've definitely got height within this card. As I always say, the height is optional if you don't want to give it all this height. If maybe you're going to be posting, then you can keep it flat. Let's take the scissors and let's just stabilize that along the bottom here. So let's take these ones off all the way round. These are 3mm foam pads that I'm using, so definitely got height to it. So let's line and position that up. There we go. And you can see now the look that we're going for. The foam pads on the back there are 2mm foam pads. Move all that out the way and let's bring this one in. So taking our tape off or using whichever adhesive you prefer. We're going to go into here. Let's press that one in. Now this is what I was meaning where, what you could have done before you've gone around with your ice grey, you could have set that over the top and realised, right, these inner parts of the beer glass, I don't need to go around with ice grey because you're not going to see it. But for all the time that it takes to actually just draw around, it's no biggie at all. So let's bring that in and layer that one centrally in the middle there. I'm going so that the actual panels are up and down. Bring that back in, take off the backing. So again, these ones, the backing for this one is 2mm, and that one is going to go central like that one. And then we're going to do that. So this one, where we've got the drop shadow to the bottom right hand corner here, I've got my foam pads towards the bottom. I don't want a foam pad at the top because we're going to overhang, so it's pointless. So let's go in with that one here. I'm kind of going the bottleneck running parallel with the top. And then for this one, let's take my, bear with me. So I put that beer bottle on 2mm foam pads and I don't have 2mm here, so let's go and here we go. Need 2mm? Yes, they are. 2mm. Let's take one of these and let's chop that down a bit. Let's bring that one. Actually, let's bring in that thinner one. There we go. because that one's going to overhang at the bottom here, like so. Press that in, and then let's also take, have I got any really small black gems left? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, actually, yeah, I think some of these are not quite got the black left, but it's like a grey black. And then let's counterbalance. So I'm going to do 1 dot, 1 dot, and 1 dot. And I'm going to do really small. So these gems that I'm using are Dawn Bibbies. So I'm going to go small, the really small one, the next size up, and then back to a really small one again, because there's about 4 or 5 different sizes in the packs that Dawn has. And then same down here, we're going to go dot, dot, dot. And if you are new to my tutorials, as I always say, and many people tell you, all gems and pearls, even self-adhesive ones, even really, really incredible quality ones like Dawn's, I will still always put a little bit of tacky glue onto the back. So I'm going to always do, just so that they don't pop off over time or get knocked off, like so. Same again, small, medium, small, and that's it. That is our 7x7 card. Using our Cheers to You Happy Beer Day, keeping it monochromatic. But what we have done as well is we've gone in, kept it monochromatic with the black, the ice grey too, and we've used just one of the 6x6 sheets from the pattern paper, which is the brown woodwork paneling, and then used the stamps and the die. So we've created that focal point, that inner cut focal point with the sentiment, and then the beer bottles. You could add a little bit of colour to the bottles of selective areas if you want, or colour the bottles in as whole. That would look quite smart. So you've still got plenty of scope to add colour if you want. But by keeping it that monochromatic way, let's go in forward for you to see there. 7x7. It's quite fab. We've got that visual from corner to corner. So whether you're going corner to corner with the beer bottles, or whether you're going corner to corner with the gems, beer bottle, and then gems down here, you've got that triangular vision for that. And then there we go. And although I've popped that onto a 7x7 card, you could easily pop that onto a 6x6 card, make it smaller, go 5x5 card. It could be an easel, it could be twisted easel, it could go in the middle of your stepper cards just by restricting the measurement slightly. So you've still got lots of scope. It could be a box lid, of course. That could be a shaker, put acetate behind that aperture cut of the beer bottle, and then sequins or anything like that in there. So much that you can still do. You can run with that concept there that I've just shown you. Mix and match other dies and stamps from that collection, or other collections, or just use other collections and do that style as well. So lots of ways in which you can do that. So really hope you enjoyed that one. I know, of course, usually I do them all in real time, and it just so happens, as I said at the start, I've got some leftover demos. So instead of them going to waste, I may as well do them here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, get the use out of them for you guys to see, some extra inspiration there, but then I'll still always talk you through the measurements if they're already cut, and then we'll still do any colouring, stamping where needed. But if you have enjoyed that one, then really would appreciate, as always, the thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, then hit that subscribe button, and then if you want to, hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified every time that I pop a tutorial up. So it's good to be back doing these again after my little bit of a break, of course, and then I was straight down to Hobby Maker and then back on Crafters TV. So yes, day off today, but I just could not have a day off here and not do a little bit of crafting and do it for you guys as well. Right, have a lovely rest of the day. I'll see you again next time here on my Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Bye.